Inside the last 20 minutes of the SportsMax Zone on this Friday, we're back and we pick up the action with cycling. One of Trinidad and Tobago's most decorated cyclists, Njisane Phillip, has retired from the sport. The 30-year-old announced his retirement earlier this week, saying now is the right time. This is what he said. I'm appreciative of my career and all those who contributed to it in any way. I'm leaving the sport as an athlete, understanding the situation and the many challenges the local fraternity is faced with, especially financially. Phillip started representing Trinidad and Tobago at the age of 13. He went on to represent them at 2 Olympic Games, London 2012 and Rio 2016. He is also a Pan American champion after taking gold in the sprint at the 2012 Mar del Plata Games in Argentina. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, Rowena Williams, believes Phillip still has a lot to offer to the sport as a competitor, but respects his decision to retire. And Rowena joins us now to talk about Njisane Phillip's decision to retire. Rowena, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have an opportunity to talk cycling here on the SportsMax Zone. It seems to me, reading your reaction, that you didn't expect this.
No, wasn't expected. We have been having talks with the cyclists and they're in preparation for getting them ready for Commonwealth Games, and Njisane was one of the cyclists that was in the pool to begin preparations for Commonwealth Games coming in the middle of the year. So, you know, it's quite a shock to us, but again, as indicated previously, we do respect Njisane's decision and we understand, you know, everybody has their own personal goals, and we just have to support their goals.
Okay, you have your hands close to the wheel, so can you interpret for us some of what he says here? Because I'm trying to read between the lines. He says, understanding the situation and the many challenges the local fraternity is faced with, especially financially. Can you direct us to specifically what the narrative here is coming from him?
Well, a lot of programs and stuff that we would want to put in place for high performance areas and the development of the cycling. It's quite a challenge because right now the federation is in a debt situation that we are trying to deal with. So in this phase of preparation for the cyclists, there's limited funds that could really be put forward to really have a development program running the way we would like it to. Of course, you know, there are opportunities for them to train outside, but again, it means that the cyclists themselves have to, you know, fund some of the things themselves. So I think those are some of the challenges that we are faced with in the federation, and it's something that we're working to really see how we can clear up the debts that we are in.
Yeah, Rowena, before I joined the SportsMax team here, I was working for a station back in Trinidad, and I actually had come down to the National Cycling Centre and I had a conversation with Njisane Phillip, among many other athletes. Back then you all had a coach. His name is slipping me right now, but you know, I did a one-on-one. Yeah, Aaron Hartwell. And you know, I had a one-on-one conversation with them, and I feel as if, you know, the same problem that they're talking about, these financial issues, were the same things they said to me back in 2018 or 2019 to be exact. So that's a couple of years ago. I mean, I've moved on. I'm in a whole new job. Things have moved forward. So what is really hampering the cycling program back in Trinidad?
Well, I think I think it's a situation where we have not really sat down and put proper plans in place the way we should have over the years. We got ourselves in a debt when we hosted the 2017 Pan Am Championships, and from 2017 to now we're still trying to deal with those debts, which amounts to close to $1 million. So that has really given us a challenge there.
Yeah, and do you get the sense that, the government is investing in the sport of cycling? Because when people like Njisane step away from the sport for these reasons, I get the sense that, it will hamper our future cycling programs, because youths looking on will feel as if, I don't want to join cycling because maybe I can make some more money in another sport. So are things being done, short-term plans to rectify the situation with assistance also from the Prime Minister and the government in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I want to say all our athletes have the ability to acquire funding from the government. It's open for all athletes. There is a different type of tier that is available to the athletes who rank at certain levels. So there's elite funding for cyclists that are ranked from 1 to 40. They have their elite funding in place. Once they do the application, they submit their reports for funding on an ongoing basis, and they account for the money, then they make sure and link. So those things are in place. Where persons are not, of course, eligible or ranking in those, there's a grant funding available. So they have a one-off grant funding to assist them to get to those competitions and stuff where they be. So there are things that the government has put in place, and I don't think it is that anybody is exempt from accessing those funds. In terms of the cycling, I think the mere fact that we were able to have a velodrome, an Olympic-sized velodrome in Trinidad now helps our cyclists in terms of getting them prepared for international competition, which is something that the other Caribbean countries don't have. So we have the facilities here that our cyclists have the ability to train, get ready, and prepare themselves better than all the other countries outside can go outside. What we have to do is do a little more with preparing our coaches to get to that level, as opposed to always bringing in international coaches to assist. Yeah. We have to prepare and get a program running for our coaches to get them to that higher level. We have coaches who will bring them, who of course have significantly contributed and of course have allowed our cyclists to even medal at all the Pan Am Games, International, CSC Games, Commonwealth Games. We have used local coaches here, and we have successfully done so. So I think we have the talent, we have the ability. It's just to put the proper structures in place, which is what we're working on right now.
Yeah, Rowena, before you go, I know that Njisane was frustrated in the past few years by a doping infraction which he challenged at CAS. He, proclaimed his innocence and so on. Do you think that disappointment has, influenced in any way his decision to quit as well?
Well, I want to say in my discussion with Njisane, I think he understood where he made a bad decision, and it was a bad decision on his start, and that happens to everybody. Everybody makes a mistake in their life. Njisane was very sorry for what he did, and he accepted the penalty that he had to face. He faced that in 2021, where the UCI upheld the decision, and a ban was placed, suspension was placed on him for, was it 3 months? And then the ban, so he served his time up to October, and the ban has been lifted. So really and truly, we saw him as 2022 would have been the year where you get back on your bike, you get back and get ready for 2024. And I think, he was preparing himself for that. As I say, I didn't expect this from him because we had these discussions. We were ready for him to really get back on the bike, motivate the team, because again, this is a new cycle for 2024 preparations. We expect exciting times for all our young athletes coming up. We just had the Junior Pan Am Youth Games in November. We had a new junior team going out there experiencing first-time international competition, and Njisane would have been a great role model for the team going forward. So again, we respect Njisane's decision, but we know that he's there to support. He has not said that he's not going to assist in any way or support the cyclists and them. They have a good communication line. among themselves, which I'm happy for. And again, Njisane also qualified as a level 1 UCI coach in November. So again, he may not be on the bike, but he can definitely do some coaching with the team, and we definitely would want to see him work alongside us to help develop.
All right, Rowena Williams, thanks for talking to us on the SportsMax Zone, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, and we'll be watching the TNT cycling space because you've got a lot of talent there. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much, and best wishes to you.
Yeah, and just to concur with what Rowena just mentioned, he did make it very clear in his resignation narrative that he's retiring as an athlete, which supports the view that President Williams just suggested, that she thinks that he will still be there to assist.
He'd be an amazing
He
coach.
will assist the program. His log, very, very impressive as a successful athlete, certainly in this hemisphere, in track cycling. Pan American Games silver, Toronto 2015, bronze in Guadalajara 4 years before that. In the Pan American Championship, he won gold in Mar del Plata in 2012, silver in Santiago and Aguas Calientes as well, and where he won bronze. Medellin also bronze as well. He was also a CSC gold medalist in Mayeres, gold and silver in the Central American and Caribbean Games. So former TNT top international cyclist Njisane Phillip decides to call it quits, and he's moving on from the sport. Back with more on The Zone after this.